Hello students, this is Vinita. Today I will explain you the summary of the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together, a story by Gordon Cook and Ellen East. Now I am just telling you about the writers. Gordon Cook, he was born on December 3, 1978 in Toronto, is a two-time Canadian Olympic sailor. He sails for the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. He is the son of Stephen Cook and Linda Cook. He had a great interest in writing stories too. And the second writer is Ellen East. The story We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. It is a story of extreme courage and skill exhibited by Gordon Cook, his family men and crewmen in a war with water and waves for survival. In July 1976, the journey started. The narrator and his wife Mary, son Jonathan, 6 years old, daughter Suzanne, 7 years old, set sail from Plymouth, England, to duplicate round the world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. They took the voyage in their professionally built ship named the Wave Walker, accompanied by two experienced sailors. Actually, they took help. The two experienced sailors, Larry Wiesel, an American, and Herb Sizzler, a Swiss, to tackle one of the world's roughest sea, the southern Indian Ocean. The first part of the journey, that is about 105,000 kilometers up to Cape Town, it passed off very pleasantly. On the second day out of Cape Town, they begin to encounter means face, strong gales, strong winds. Gales did not worry the narrator, but the size of the waves was alarming, up to 15 meters, as high as the mainmast. On 25th December, the writer's ship was in the southern Indian Ocean, 3,500 kilometers to the east of the Cape Town. The family even celebrated their New Year or Christmas on the board of the ship. At dawn means early in the morning. On January 2, the waves were gigantic. Gigantic means huge. Unfriendly weather, gigantic waves compelled the sailors to slow their speed, drop storm jib, and take other precautions. The danger was so obvious that the sailors completed life raft drill, attached lifelines and life jackets. Suddenly at 6 p.m., a tremendous explosion shook the Wave Walker and the author was thrown overboard. The ship was about to capsize when another gigantic wave hit it, tossing it upright once again. The author was thrown back onto the deck, his head and ribs smashing against the walls. He was badly injured. His mouth was filled with blood and ribs were broken. In spite of his injuries, the narrator took charge of the situation. Somehow he found the wheel, lined up the stem for the next wave, and hung on till Mary appeared. And she declared that we are sinking. But the narrator, he told Mary to keep on holding the wheel and took charge of the wheel. Mary took charge of the wheel. Larry and Herb started pumping out water like madmen. For 36 hours, they continuously kept on pumping. The whole starboard side bulged inwards. The narrator managed to cover canvas across the gapes to prevent water from entering the ships. Then came more problems. Their hand pumps stopped working, and they stopped working because of the debris, and electric pumps short circuited. Fortunately, the narrator found a spare electric pump under the chart room. That was working fortunately. The entire night was spent in pumping, steering, repairing, and sending radio signals. But they were not getting any signals. Obviously, it was obvious because they were at the remote corner of the world. The narrator checked charts, calculated that island Amsterdam, a French scientific base, was their only hope. Sue means Suzanne and son Jonathan. They were badly injured, but they said that they were not afraid to die if they could all be together. So here we see the children's courageous attitude. Sue's head was swollen and she had a deep injury. The narrator became more determined, seeing his children's courage. Finally, they reached island Amsterdam, a volcanic island where they were welcomed by 28 inhabitants. Now, I would like to tell you about island Amsterdam. It was a small volcanic island, and there was less vegetation. It was not beautiful at all, but that time it seemed very beautiful to the narrator because it was the only hope for the narrator to save himself and his family members. Thus, the collective strength and never failing optimism of the sailors made it possible for them to come out of the jaws of death. Through Jonathan, Suzanne did not do anything to save Wavewalker, but their courage, they showed courage, forbearance, their faith, their optimism gave extra strength and persistence to the narrator and his team. At last, at the end of the chapter, the narrator thought about the courage, the optimism of the persons who were there in the Waywalker. The bravery of the strong willed children is noteworthy in this story. So, students, this is all about the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die. Thank you and goodbye.